Now, please be joined with NFL Network analyst and former quarterback Kurt Warner, Super Bowl champion. And Kurt, I'll ask you right off the top about the quarterback situation in Phil. Yes, you have to know that's coming from Philadelphia. Yeah. What do you think of Sam Bradford as a player that Chip acquired this offseason? He traded Nick Foles, a Pro Bowl quarterback, to St. Louis to acquire him. What do you think of Bradford?
I tell you what, I love Sam. Great young man, a guy that I believe wants to be great. I believe he's got the tools to be great. I think the biggest thing that I've seen with Sam in his short career is that I want to see him get the confidence back that he believes he can make every throw on the football field. Is that I think there was a time in St. Louis where he got to the point where he was more afraid to make a mistake than he was to make a play. And so he managed games instead of just playing up to his potential. Because I believe if he plays up to his potential, he can be a really, really good quarterback in the National Football League. I just think, after maybe a lot of hits early in his career, lack of success early in the career has maybe led to this. But that's the next step for him, is to get back to the confidence level where it's like throw caution to the wind and go play the way you played in college and the way you played your rookie year. And I think there's a huge upside for him.
Now, everyone wants to know, will Chip Kelly potentially make the move to go up to get the player who he coached at Oregon and Marcus Mariota? You spent time with Marcus and with Jameis Winston, the top two quarterbacks of this year's draft class. What are your thoughts on the two of them?
Well, first of all, talk about Jameis, is that I really like Jameis. I like his persona. I like, his charisma, the way he connects with people around him. I think he'd be a great leader. I like what they asked him to do in college. He played in a pro system. They asked him to do a lot of different things. So from that standpoint, I think the body of work says he's the most pro-ready of the two. But, what a great situation for Marcus Mariota if he gets to Philly, where now he doesn't have to make a drastic transition, at least right off the bat, is he can come into a system he's comfortable with, playing to his strengths with his legs and with his arm and system-wise with things that he's done in the past. So I think that would be a great fit and allow him to succeed early as he continued to learn how to play the position and how to play it more pro style from inside the pocket.
What bits of advice can you give the young quarterbacks? Because it's not just being selected, it's you're going to a new city, you're most likely moving away from home, you're going to be the face of a franchise. How do these players prepare for that? How can they adapt to it? What bit of advice can you give to them?
Well, I think there's always a couple things. I think first and foremost from like a football standpoint is find a veteran guy that's done it or that's in your locker room that you can kind of go under their wing and just learn how to be a pro. That I know it's easy sometimes as a leader to want to come in and go, oh, I got this, I know what I'm doing, and I'll kind of fake my way through it. It's not a situation you want to try to fake your way through, because the NFL will expose you very quickly if you try to do that. So I always tell them, call somebody, call me, and if you got questions about how to handle yourself off the field, ask them. If you need more help on the field to sit down and talk, X's and O's and stuff, do that. But, uncover every rock with that veteran of how to be a pro. I think that's where it starts. And then I think there's always a key, too, is that understand when you're becoming the face of a franchise that football isn't everything. Go out and connect with the community and understand that what's great about football teams is that communities are connected to them. Good or bad, they're connected to them. And you have an amazing opportunity being connected in that way as a quarterback, the face of a franchise, to really impact the community and have a longer lasting impact than just wins and losses. And I think not enough guys have that perspective. And I think it's hard for a young guy to have that perspective, but I think the young guys that do that really endear themselves to a community in a special way.
Kurt, my last question is, everyone talks about Jameis, everyone talks about Marcus. Who from that next tier of quarterbacks, whether it's Hundley, whether it's Petty, whether it's Grayson, Mannion, who do you think has the best chance, from what you've seen on tape, to succeed in the NFL?
A tough question, because I like Petty, I like Hundley. I got to work with Brett a little bit. Garrett Grayson's a guy that intrigues me because he played more of a pro system. So I think he's got a better chance from that standpoint. Bryce Petty, I think, is a guy that maybe has the most upside physically, just as a passer, great feet, great release, great arm. But all of them have questions for me. And so I'm not sure who that next guy is. If you're looking for a certain kind of guy, I can tell you, If you're looking for that athlete that can throw it, probably go with Bryce Petty. If you're looking for a guy to play in a system where you're going to ask him to do more, maybe it's a Garrett Grayson that's been in that system more, and maybe Brett Hundley's kind of the mix of those two. But I'm not sure one really jumps out at you and says he's definitely the third best quarterback in this draft. I just think they're different, and depending on what you're looking for, is that guy that you would take next.
NFL Network analyst and Super Bowl champion quarterback Kurt Warner, thank you very much for joining us here on Eagles Draft Central on PhiladelphiaEagles.com.